My college roommate, Fanny, once offered to help me enter an online lucky draw for a brand new smartphone. At the time, it felt like a small favor between roommates. Looking back, that single decision was the beginning of everything that followed me: humiliation, my expulsion, and my death. The lucky draw was hosted during a live stream on a popular shopping platform. My phone back then was barely holding on. The screen was cracked, the battery overheated, and it would shut off randomly in the middle of calls. I needed it for class updates, emails from professors, and my part-time job. Winning that phone wasn't about luxury. It was about survival. I sat through the live stream all afternoon, waiting, refreshing, hoping my name would be called. Halfway through the stream, my academic advisor called me in for an urgent meeting. I couldn't ignore it. Fanny was sitting beside me in our dorm room, scrolling casually on her own phone. I asked her to keep watching the stream for me and click the button if my name appeared. She agreed immediately, smiling and nodding, acting like it was nothing at all. I trusted her. We had lived together for a year. I had no reason to doubt her. That night, after I got back, I opened social media and froze. Our other roommate, Wendy, had just posted a grid of photos. In every picture, Fanny was holding a brand new iPhone. Sometimes she covered part of her face, sometimes she tilted her head proudly, but the phone was always front and center. The caption made my stomach drop. Some people are born losers. New phone is mine. Watching idiots suffer makes me happy. My hands shook as I logged into my giveaway account. I checked the records over and over, hoping I was wrong. But I wasn't. My name was listed as the winner. The shipping address, however, had been changed. It was no longer mine. It was Fanny's. When I confronted her, she didn't even try to deny it. She laughed, like I had just told her a joke. "I'm the one who clicked the button," she said. "Are you really that desperate for money? Fine. Pay the gift tax and I'll give it to you." I didn't have a choice. I transferred her everything I had saved for food that month. Every dollar. As soon as the money hit her account, her attitude changed. She leaned back in her chair, crossed her arms, and smirked. "I won it for you, so the phone is my payment. Learn to be grateful. Stop begging for things you don't deserve." I didn't get the phone. I didn't get my money back. I went days barely eating, pretending I wasn't hungry while my stomach burned. Then Fanny won again. A second lucky draw. A second brand new phone. Her luck was unreal. She waved it around the dorm like a trophy, laughing loudly. "Wow," she said, looking straight at me. "Even God must hate you, Lynn. I guess I'll punish you on his behalf." She sold the first phone and used the money to buy snacks for the dorm. Chips, soda, candy were spread across the table. Everyone was invited except me. "Oh, Lynn," she said sweetly, "the store ran out. You don't mind, right?" I hadn't eaten properly in 3 days. No one spoke up. No one cared. I clenched my fists under the table and said I wasn't hungry. That was when she decided I wasn't just someone to bully. I was someone to destroy. Fanny started spreading rumors. She photoshopped my pictures and posted them online, twisting my image into something disgusting. She made fake posts under my name, implying I sold myself for money. The lies spread faster than I could explain. People stared at me in the hallways. Class group chats kicked me out. Whispers followed me everywhere. Eventually, the school expelled me to protect its reputation. The same day I was expelled, Fanny posted another grid of photos with her new phone, celebrating openly and saying I got what I deserved. I reached my breaking point. I decided to sue her. I wanted justice. But before I could even file the paperwork, a group of her male followers cornered me on the rooftop of a campus building. They laughed at me, insulted me, and said that since I was that kind of girl anyway, I should accept punishment. There was no escape. I grabbed Fanny and jumped. When I opened my eyes again, I was standing in our dorm room, my legs weak, my heart pounding, the memory of blood and concrete still burning in my mind. Fanny stood in front of me, calm and relaxed, scrolling through her phone like nothing had happened. "Lynn," she said softly, "I helped you enter the lucky draw, but you didn't win anything. No need to check your account. You trust me, right?" That was when I understood. I had been given a second chance. And this time, I wasn't going to let her take my life again. After that moment, I did exactly what I hadn't done in my last life. I stayed quiet. I didn't argue with Fanny, didn't accuse her, and didn't let her see any emotion on my face. On the surface, I acted like I believed her lie completely. Inside, I was replaying every detail of what was about to happen, because I knew her luck, her greed, and the order in which she would make her mistakes. Just like before, the second lucky draw came quickly. Fanny entered it with confidence, and once again, she won. The notification popped up on her screen. And she screamed so loudly the entire dorm heard it. She jumped up, waving her phone, laughing and shouting about how blessed she was. She made sure to look at me when she said that some people were born lucky and others were born to suffer. The difference this time was that I didn't react at all, and that only made her feel more superior. She sold the first phone almost immediately. When she came back with the money, she bought snacks again and laid them out across the dorm like a reward. This time, though, she pushed a bag toward me as well. She wanted to look generous, like the kind of person who wouldn't bully a roommate. I took the snacks without hesitation and sat down with everyone else. Fanny relaxed the moment she saw that. In her mind, I had already lost. While we were eating, I spoke casually, like I was just making conversation. I mentioned that I had read about how strict online platforms had become. I said that their anti-fraud systems were getting smarter, especially when it came to lucky draws. I talked about how winning multiple high-value prizes from the same location in a short period of time could trigger an investigation, leading to prizes being revoked, accounts banned, and even legal trouble. I didn't look at Fanny while I said it. I didn't accuse her of anything. I just spoke as if it had nothing to do with us. The room went quiet. Fanny's movement slowed, but she forced a laugh and said I was overthinking it. Wendy immediately backed her up, saying Fanny was the most upright person she knew, and that luck was just luck. Fanny added that the first phone had already been sold anyway, so even if the platform cared, there was nothing they could do about it. She said it with confidence, but her fingers were gripping her phone a little too tightly. A moment later, her phone buzzed loudly on the desk. Fanny frowned and picked it up. As she read the message, the color drained from her face. Her hands began to shake. Wendy leaned over and asked what was wrong. The platform had flagged her account for abnormal activity. The second prize had been revoked. She was being ordered to return the first phone within 7 days or face legal consequences. No one spoke. The dorm felt frozen. Fanny panicked. She insisted it was a mistake, that she had done nothing wrong, that she was just lucky. That was when I finally spoke clearly. I explained, step by step, exactly how she had been caught. She had used my account for the first win, and her own account for the second, but both prizes had been shipped to the same address within a short time frame. To the system, it looked exactly like fraud. I also told her that I was the one who reported it. Her composure shattered. She demanded to know why I would do something like that. I asked her a simple question in return. Why had she used my account in the first place? Wendy suddenly realized what was happening, and demanded to know whether Fanny had already spent the money from the first phone. At that point, Fanny stopped pretending. She admitted she had done it, mocked me for being poor, and said that even if she lost the phone, I would still lose in the end. Before she could say anything else, my phone rang. The customer service representative on the line told me that my eligibility had been verified, and that the gift tax had been correctly paid under my account. A replacement prize was being sent out immediately, and I would need to sign for it myself. As soon as the call ended, there was a knock at the door. A delivery worker called my name. I signed for the package in front of everyone. That was when Fanny finally understood what had changed. In my last life, she had paid the tax before I could, which had allowed her to block my appeal. This time, I paid it myself the moment I woke up. The account information matched perfectly, and the platform ruled in my favor. Fanny rushed toward me, panic all over her face. She said she would reimburse me for the tax and begged me to give her the phone. I agreed calmly. She transferred the money immediately. Once the payment cleared, I put the phone into my bag and thanked her for the cash. Then I told her I was keeping the phone. She stared at me in disbelief. I repeated her own words back to her, asking whether a phone was really worth ruining a friendship. I reminded her that she had won it for me, so it belonged to me. The room was silent. For the first time, Fanny looked at me with fear instead of contempt. After that day, the atmosphere in the dorm changed completely. Fanny didn't apologize or reflect. Instead, she made sure everyone turned against me. My roommates stopped talking when I entered the room. If I reached for something on the table, someone would yank it away and joke loudly that they didn't want to catch anything. When I walked into common areas, people whispered and stared. I was quietly removed from class group chats, study groups, and project teams. It was like I was being erased one step at a time. Then the rumors escalated. A group of guys blocked my path near the dorms. A loud, cocky senior named Derek waved some cash in my face and told me to stop pretending. He said he knew exactly what kind of girl I was, and that tonight, I was going to earn it. When I asked what he was talking about, he shoved his phone toward me. On the school forum, under my student ID, was a post advertising sexual services, complete with prices and disgusting details. I kicked him hard and ran back to the dorm, shaking. Someone had accessed my computer. When I confronted Fanny, she didn't even bother hiding. She laughed while scrolling through her live stream comments, and told me the counselor had transferred my scholarship to her. She said I should think about why everyone hated me and suggested I move out so the dorm wouldn't get infected. That scholarship was my lifeline. Without it, I couldn't afford tuition or housing. When I went to the counselor's office to plead my case, he slammed his desk and accused me of slandering him online. Another post had been reported, again under my ID, claiming that he had sexually harassed me. He said Fanny had reported it to protect the school. He told me to apologize and delete everything or he would call the police. I walked out knowing I had been completely set up. That night, Fanny danced in front of her live stream, singing about how the scholarship was finally hers. She leaned close to my face afterward and mocked me, asking why I was crying and whether she could help. The next day, a new post appeared under my account, tagging dozens of male students and inviting them to meet in the woods behind campus. By evening, a crowd had gathered there, including Derek. Then a girl screamed, from the bushes. Derek's voice followed, arguing about money. When I stepped forward with a flashlight, everyone froze. The girl on the ground wasn't me. It was Fanny. She panicked when she saw the crowd, stammering excuses. I shouted that she had been using my account all along, that every post and rumor had been her doing. The boys turned on her immediately, disgusted and furious. When she tried to deny it, I played an audio recording. It was her voice and Derek's, unmistakable. At that moment, a scheduled post went live on the forum, claiming that Fanny was being attacked in the woods and begging for help, falsely signed with my name. The crowd erupted, feeling insulted and exposed. They lashed out at her. I didn't stop them. I knew from my last life that reporting it wouldn't bring justice, only silence. The school later returned my scholarship to keep me quiet about the incident, calling it a student conflict. I used Fanny's live stream account afterward, dancing to her old theme song and mocking her the same way she once mocked me, but Fanny still didn't stop. She reinvented herself online as Lucky Fanny, claiming she had met a monk who told her she was chosen by fate. She began predicting sports results. When a national team won an unexpected match, her popularity exploded. People paid her for advice and lucky charms. She charged thousands and blocked anyone who questioned her. One woman begged for a refund, saying she had used money meant for her sick child. Fanny ignored her. When Fanny predicted that the national team would reach the World Cup finals, people went all in. Some sold their cars. Some mortgaged their homes. Wendy became her personal assistant, convinced they were about to be rich. Fanny insulted me openly, saying my family was poor because we lacked virtue. When I asked if she feared karma, she laughed and predicted my failure, my rejection, even my injury. On the day of the final, she predicted a last-minute victory. Instead, the team lost badly. Her live stream exploded with rage. I exposed her charms as cheap trinkets and revealed her identity to everyone watching. Wendy turned on her, accusing her of using her to spread lies. Fanny tried to run. The police arrested her for fraud soon after. Her debts crushed her family. She was eventually imprisoned, where she got into a fight with Wendy that ended in Wendy's death. Fanny was sentenced to murder. In prison, she asked to see me. She looked unrecognizable, aged beyond her years. She tried to give me the first phone back and begged for forgiveness. I told her I didn't need it. She died 10 months after opening my lucky charm. When I later returned to the bridge where I had once met an old fortune teller, I asked him how everything had come true when I had made it all up. He laughed and said that words have power, especially when people choose to believe them. Then he walked away, leaving me alone with my second life, finally free.